So because we're going to test the overhead protector, so let's continue on the discussion of the textbook. So using the model of perfect competition. So basically, this is an application of perfectly competitive market. But some of the issue that discussed in the textbook is not something I like. For example, drugs. I would say drug is never a good idea, okay? Because it hurts your body, okay? It hurts your health. It's not good. But so let us say marijuana, okay? Or some people say cannabis. And in the US, sometimes it is called weed. Okay, so Wang Ziqi, what is marijuana? No idea. Yu Huayuan, marijuana. What is marijuana? Okay, drugs. This word is kind of confusing, okay? Because in the US there's some store called drugstore. Okay, drugstore. So what is a drugstore? Wang Ziqi, what is a drugstore? No idea. Yu Huayuan, what is a, excuse me? Exactly. When you check a dictionary, okay, or either on the web, it says something different. As a matter of fact, if you go to a drugstore in the United States, generally you can get a prescription from doctor and go to drugstore to get your medication. So sometimes it is better to call. Suppose you really need help on your health. So it is better you call it medication, okay, medication or medicine. Okay, you better say that medication or medicine, because drugs, okay, basically can say it is something that helps your body to recover, but drug also means something that is not good. Okay, so basically you gotta say drugs. So let us say you are at the airport, okay, and you say you need some drugs. You may be in trouble because the policeman may say, "Gosh, you have drugs," but as a matter of fact, what you're going to refer to is actually what? Medication or medicine. Okay. For the war on drugs in the United States is never successful because it has been such a long time that there's still a very huge issue, and you have some gangs. Okay, you have some gangs that dealing with this, and of course, if they are gangs, they use violence, they use guns, so it's really bad. Okay, so I haven't got the answer yet. Wang Xiuhui, what is marijuana? Or sometimes called cannabis. Basically, that's the same thing. Marijuana, cannabis, or weed.卢佑祥，金圣岛 marijuana, 谢金佑 exactly. And there is a singer. There's a singer called Wu Dongxian, right? His son got into trouble because of what? Because of that. And basically, I really have no idea why American people, okay, but it's not most people, right? They really say we should not let marijuana be illegal, okay? Legalize marijuana. I really have no idea what's the point. And in Taiwan, some people in the some singers, some actors or actresses, okay, they have the same idea, want to legalize marijuana. In my opinion, that's really bad because whatever it is drugs. Okay, it hurts you. It hurts your nervous system. So it's never a good idea. And of course, we still can analyze the drug market with the competitive model, okay? And of course, there are some other things that we can use. For example, we just talked about import and export, so that's international trade, okay? And so to a certain extent, we also know about the effect of tariff, right? Tariff is not good, okay? Quota is not good either, but sometimes government may have to do something. And recently we have some issue about eggs, right? Remember that? We have some issue about eggs. So, Ye Yifeng, what's eggs? Excuse me? Okay, what's the problem in Taiwan recently about eggs? Excuse me? There's a shortage, right? There's a shortage. So how to deal with this? There's a shortage of drugs, so how to deal with it? Increase supply, right? So that's the same thing. Because of the United States and United Kingdom, they both boycott Russian oil and Russian gas, right? So because of that, there's a reduction in supply. So if there's a reduction in supply, what happens? Price is going to go up, right? If price goes up, so what you going to do? If price goes up, people are going to suffer, right? People are going to suffer. So you have to pay a lot more for your gas, okay? And so because of that, Joe Biden, okay, President Biden, he lobbied Saudi Arabia. So what is Saudi Arabia? 谢金佑. What is Saudi Arabia? Right. What's so special about Saudi Arabia? Right. They produce a lot of oil, right? So President Biden call the what's that called? King, right? The king of Saudi Arabia and say, please produce more, right? So there are some other issues that we have to deal with. If there's a shortage of eggs, what you do? You pay more, subsidize, okay? You subsidize the farmers to produce more eggs. And because now you boycott the oil and gas from Russia, and so what you're going to do? You want someone else to produce more, and that's Saudi Arabia, okay? And also, America is also a major country in producing oil and gas. So, the other way is for President Biden to tell domestic producers to produce more, okay? So there are other issues that we can do with the competitive model, okay? Sounds like it's working well. And the other one is organ donors, okay? What is organ donors? Hong Kai-shen. What's organ donors? Do you know donate? What's donate? Right. So donor is the one donate. Okay? Donor is the one donate. And so what's organ? What's organ? What's organ? Okay, so it said how the competitive model can provide insight into the ethical issue of whether to pay organ donors. So, do you agree? So suppose I donate my kidney and I should get paid. Do you agree with that? Or let us say I donate blood. I donate blood last week. Okay, I donated blood last week. So should I get paid? There used to be, we call blood ox. Okay, blood ox. In Mandarin. What's blood ox? 长侧尾. Excuse me? Blood, what's blood? Ox. Okay, 2 words. Blood ox. There used to be some people, in Mandarin we call blood ox. What do? They go to hospital to not donate money, is to give money and get paid for that. Okay, that's called blood ox. Is it good? And now we generally only accept people donate blood and also donate organ, right? So what happened? What happened? There's a shortage of blood, right? There's a shortage of organ. A lot of people, they got into trouble for their kidneys, lungs, or whatever organs, but are they able to get help? The answer is no, right? Because there's a shortage of organs. So because of that, a lot of people have to regularly go to a hospital to use, that's called dialysis of their kidney, okay? Of the blood. So because there's malfunction for their kidney. So what is kidney? 张志伟, what is kidney? 王之己, what's kidney? 林玉祥, what's kidney? Okay, good. Okay, so if you go to India, you can pay and then to get a kidney. Okay? 御花园, that's good or bad?
Bad, bad.
Why?
因为这样很坏。
But so there are some other issues. So let us say you are not able to get pregnant, okay? So then you won't be able to have kids, right? And let's talk about the situation of Lin Zilin, Wang Ziji. Do you know how old is Lin Zilin? 47. Can she get pregnant? So how to deal with it? Because we learned that now she has a baby, right? So how did she deal with it? What had she done to get pregnant? Because she had eggs taken out of her long time ago, right? Because at this point she may not have, regularly, we call period, okay? Anyway, so because of that, so she know that if she want to have kids of her own, so she saved some eggs long time ago, okay? Because of that. But suppose anyone, okay, if they are not able to get pregnant, so what happened? They don't have good eggs or good sperm. So egg and sperm. So then, actually, there's a market for eggs and sperms. In the United States, you can donate your sperms, but you get paid. And also, there's a chance that you get some eggs and people use it and you get paid. Is it good or bad? No idea. But for organ donors, in Taiwan is really an issue because so many people rely on dialysis and they have poor health because of that. And so, how are you going to deal with it? Let's turn to drugs first. Okay, so suppose drug is illegal, right? What happened? If you sell drugs, you have to pay not only the marginal cost to produce it, right? But also there's a chance you're going to get caught. If you're going to get caught, what happened? You have to be put in jail or get fined, right? So that's extra cost. So suppose the market of drugs, marijuana, is not legalized. So then what you have? You have extra cost. Okay, you have extra cost. Because you have to consider not only the marginal cost to produce it, but also the opportunity cost being caught. Then you will be in jail. So that's extra cost. But suppose we legalize it, okay, if you legalize it, so, you can produce it anywhere, right? So the price of drugs will go down and the consumption level will go up. In terms of consumer, it sounds like it's a good idea, right? But what happened is that we haven't considered the social cost for consuming marijuana. Okay, so this is only for the private benefit. Okay, we haven't talked about the social cost for that because a lot of people So let us say you consume marijuana in this room, and I'm here. What happened? I will become another consumer of marijuana, right? Because the air will be polluted by marijuana. So in any case, in my opinion, it really doesn't make sense, okay, to legalize any drugs, even though it is as simple as marijuana. In my opinion, is never a good idea. But if you look at the history of the United States, it has been such a long time and such a long struggle against illegal drugs. What happened? It's still there, and the violence are very rampant. Particularly if you look at Chicago, the Chicago. The situation in Chicago is really bad. It probably every day you can hear gunshots, and some kids got hurt. The bystanders, they are innocent. They are not drug consumers or drug producers, but they got impacted from this kind of violence. And because of what? There are a lot of money to make out of drugs. So, if there's a profit to be made, some people are going to make it. And it is really bad. The only thing that I would say is to have education campaign. Okay, you really need to tell people not to use drugs. That is better than legalized drugs. Okay, and in Taiwan, the issue of drugs is getting much more serious than before. But basically, I believe the policemen of Taiwan, they are much more efficient than the American policemen. But still, I don't quite like the idea to legalize the drugs. But this is the analysis. Okay, if you legalize the drugs, the penalty is gone, and so the marginal cost for the producer is going down. So then you have lowered down the price, and you have more quantity. And in my opinion, this is not good for the social benefits. Okay. Okay. So let us talk about this. Okay. It said. Let me read it. Adolescents' views of the risk of drug dealing. Okay, so what's their idea about drug dealing? And it looks like it's not good, right? Because here, arrest means you will be arrested by the police. And prison sentence means you're going to be put in jail. Severe injury or death, this is really bad, right? And so you can tell the situation is really not good. And the other term for it is called opioid. Opioid. There's a prevalent use of opioid. And because of what? Because a lot of people, they may have very severe diseases, for example, cancer. And if you have cancer, it's really painful. And so what the doctor can do for you is to prescribe opioids. And it happens that a lot of doctors are careless. Okay, they never tell people, the patients, the cost and the chances that someone gonna be addicted, even though that's the prescription drug from doctors. And so a lot of people just consume too much of it, and so they die. So really bad, really bad. That's the reason I don't quite like the case, but it is an application. Okay, so you can get some idea of it. So, economics of drug legalization. So what happened is that if you legalize drugs, okay, originally the production cost is quite high in considering especially the penalty you're going to have, and now the cost is lower. The cost is lower. What happened? People are going to make more money out of it, right? If people are going to make more money out of it, and it becomes a competitive industry, gosh, you're going to have a lot more people consume drugs because the price is lower and the production level is higher. So it's never a good idea. That's my opinion. Okay, let's move on. And it said public policy toward drugs after legalization. So this is about the price, okay? If you legalize drugs, what happened? The price of drugs goes down. Is it good? No, it's not good. If it is oil, if it is gasoline, that's good. But it's drugs, it hurts you, okay? And it doesn't help the economy, it doesn't help people, okay? Okay, and here we talk about gains from trade, right? Remember that we say we have tariff. If you have tariff, price is going to go up, okay? And the consumption level will go down. And so in that case, it's going to hurt consumer surplus, okay? It's going to hurt consumer, even though producers may get some benefit out of it. But suppose you have free trade, okay? If you have free trade, then the consumer surplus is going to go up, okay? Consumer surplus is going to go up. And if you have protection, say you have tariff, that's the other way around, okay? So what's gains from trade? It is the net increase in welfare that occurs to a country as a result of trade, okay? So for example, we have free trade, right? Suppose we have free trade, then the price of cars is going to be lower, and you're going to have more cars to choose from. And in that case, of course, that's surely a good idea. But sometimes that people want to protect the benefits of workers. So you have tariff or quota, okay, to guarantee a certain production level of domestic firms. So NAFTA, okay? So what is NAFTA? Wong Kan-Xuan, what is NAFTA? NAFTA is North America Free Trade Agreement. It is a free trade agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. So because of the free trade between the three countries, they expand the market. Okay, they expand the market. So now American people can produce for not just US market, but also Canada and also Mexico. So because of that, you can use better technology, okay, to have better economy of scale. And so perhaps because of that, you can get increasing returns to scale. And of course, this may sound good, but some people may get benefits, some people may get hurt. So for example, if you are workers, if you are low-skilled workers, what happened? You're going to lose your job because Mexican labor is cheaper. Okay, Mexican labor is cheaper. And so some American people are going to get hurt, but some American people are going to get benefit because suppose you produce cars, you produce semiconductors, produce computers, high-tech equipment, or let us say cell phones. If you serve in this kind of industry, then you're going to get benefit out of it. Okay? Okay, so question, Liu Xiang. If there's a free trade between US and Mexico, so who should produce cherries? Mexico or the United States? Do you know what's cherries? Oh, let us say tomatoes. That's easier, right? Tomato. If there's a free trade between US and Mexico, so which country should produce tomato? Excuse me? So who? Which country? Tomato? So which one? It should be Mexico, right? But of course, some American farmers produce tomato, but generally you know that tomato is labor intensive, right? So 鲁佑想 what's labor intensive? Labor. Labor intensive means you use a lot of labor. So what's labor intensive? 黄修伟 labor intensive. Right, exactly. Okay? So basically, it really depends on who you are. Okay? What kind of job you have. So, I mean, some people against NAFTA, a lot of workers, they are against free trade. But as a matter of fact, that's not right. Okay? But it is true, if you are an ordinary labor, no skill or low skill, you're going to get affected because Mexican labor is much more productive. Okay? They can produce the same amount of goods at a lower price. And so those workers in the United States, they have to learn new skills and to get something better, okay, to increase their human capital. Okay, rent control. So, Chen Xicai, what's rent control? What's rent? What is rent? Excuse me? Louder. Okay, so what's rent control? Right? Okay, so what's that? So, let us say, okay, I mean, this diagram is a little bit difficult to read. So let me draw another picture here. So let us say this is a housing market, okay, and here is the rent, the number of houses available or number of rooms. And so you have supply demand, right? Supply demand. So rent control basically means that the government say want to subsidize your cost for going to the university, and then impose a lower rent. So let us say the rent now in our area is 3,500. Okay, and this is the equilibrium market. But the government say we're gonna subsidize you, and so we impose a rent control. So rent control has to be lower than the equilibrium price. So let us say $3,000. Okay. Okay, Zhang Zhiwei. What happened now? Originally the price is 3,500, right? So there's equilibrium. But now government say students don't have to pay very much. The price you pay is $3,000. So what happened in the market now? At 3,500, there's equilibrium, right? And at 3,000, what happened? Okay? Because the price is low. A lot of people want to get a house, right? But because the price is too low, what happened? The landlord, okay, don't want to offer that much. So there will be a shortage, okay? There will be a shortage. So is this good or bad, Zhang Zhiwei? Why? Exactly, okay? So in the short run, there may be nothing, right? But in the long run, what happened? Because the rent is just too low. If you are the landlord, you offer a house, a room to students, what do you want? You want to get the rate of return, right? You want to get money out of your house. But suppose it's not enough, what happened? You just don't offer it, right? And in this case, the shortage will be much worse, okay, gradually in the long run. Because if there's a price, if there's a reasonable price, reasonable rate of return, then you can see a lot of landlords offer new rooms, offer more rooms, offer more houses, or even they can build houses, right, to offer to students because they can make money. But now, because of the rent control, they cannot get enough rate of return. what happened? So they're gonna close the market. Okay, they're gonna get back their houses, get back their rooms. Okay, so what happened? You're gonna get even more severe shortage of housing. Okay, so rent control is never a good idea. If you go to New York or California or Berkeley or Paris, okay, in France, these are some places with rent control, and you can see clearly, the room is not good, the house is not good, okay, very terrible. So I live in Santa Barbara, okay, for about 7 years, and Santa Barbara has no rent control, and so what you get, very good housing, and the quality is good, and also people don't have to, wait for a long time to get a house, okay, it's easy to get, okay. And you see that by imposing rent control, what you get, the landlord get lost. If landlord has a loss, what they gonna do? They will not offer their room for rent. Okay. Okay. Another idea is price support. Okay. Price support basically it wants to make farmers get some profits out of it. Okay. And so, 林玉祥, what is price support? So what's that all about? Can you give us example? Okay, so let us say rice. Okay, because farmers generally don't have good income, okay, and so because of that, but really is a probably is a myth, okay. So Liu Yuxiang, what's a myth? Right. Some farmers are really rich people, okay. For example, in Tainan Yujing, okay, Tainan Yujing. So Yu Huayuan, what's the major product in Tainan Yujing? Or Pingdong Fangliao. What's the major product?
Mango.
Exactly. And so in Yujing, okay, there are farmers very rich. Because of what? Because of mango. They produce it and they sell it, and there are so many shops with a variety of mango products. Okay? So not all farmers are poor, okay? Some of them are very rich. But let us say we have rice support. So because we want to increase food production, okay? We want to increase food production, so we pay a guaranteed price for farmers to produce rice. Is it good or bad? Is that good or bad? Chen Xicai, is that good or bad?
Good.
Why? Why is it good? If you're a consumer, is it good or bad? You're gonna pay a higher price for it, right? Is it good? So we're gonna pay for mine. No. Why not? So, in this case, if we have price support, there's a cost, right? So let us say the market price is $10, but then the government say we have to pay $12, okay? And because of that, higher price, more people are gonna produce. So you're gonna get more surplus, right? You're gonna get a lot more volume. And then what happens? You have to pay a lot more to purchase those extra, right? And so price support is good. It is used to buy vote, okay? Why? Why a lot of governments like to do that? Because if you are the farmers and I say I support price support, right? I want to increase the price of your product. The farmer is going to be nice to me, right? And so they're going to vote for me, right? But is it good for the whole society? It is not, because it is inefficient. The most efficient case is to have perfect competitive market. If you have price supports, you intervene the market, you artificially manipulate the price and make the price higher. So consumer surplus is going to go down, even though producer surplus is going to go up. But in terms of consumer and producer, which one gets more? producer gets more, consumer gets less. So that's not good. Okay? So let's talk about some of the history of the price support in the United States. You have Agricultural Marketing Act, Agricultural Adjustment Act, Parity Price, Commodity Credit Corporation. All these things, all these policies are used to support the price of rice. And the price of agricultural products, milk, okay, beef, all these things. That is good for producers. Okay. By the way, Hong Kai-Shen, as a percentage, how much is the percentage for people work as farmers in the United States? What's the percentage of farmers in the U.S.? Can you tell me a number? Say 10%, 5%, whatever. Guess. What's the percentage of farmers in the U.S.? 20. Are you sure? We call G7, group of 7. They are an advanced economy, right? 20% working as a farmer. Even Taiwan doesn't have that much.
5%.
Even less.
Only 1.
Less than 1%. So is it good? Is this policy good? It is no. The answer is no. Okay? Because less than 1% of the people working as a farmer. So you have to pay so much to people just less than 1% of the population. Is it good? It is not. Okay? That's the same thing in Taiwan. Okay? So, in terms of consumer surplus, it's easy to analyze this. Okay? You probably have to read this on your own. Okay? We don't talk about this loan program. You can subsidize people with a lot of things. Okay? One is price support. The other one is low interest rate loan. Okay, low interest loan. Let's give you more money, cheaper money to use. Okay. And so in Taiwan, we have something better. Okay. So, sometimes you pay people. Okay, pay people not to produce. So, for example, let us say in winter time, okay, when it's not the right season for a lot of produce, and that government, we call furlough. Okay, furlough means you get money but you don't have to work. Okay, 2 words. What would be that? Anyway, because there are just so few people here. In winter time is not a good time for grow any kind of produce, and so government pay people not to produce. 2 words. The first word is rest. Louder. Okay. That is better, right? Why? Because if you have price support or low interest program, whatever, what you get? You get continued increase in supply, right? If you have continuous supply, and because the price is higher, people are going to produce more, right? You always have to worry about extra supply. Okay? How are we going to deal with those extra food that no one going to consume? So instead, we have furlough. Okay? In this case, people still get paid, but they don't produce. So you can reduce supply. Okay? That's even though it's still not good. But as a matter of fact, it's much better than price support or other kind of programs. Okay. Okay, so let us talk about here. So this is the target price. So price support, right? Price support, target price, and this is the market price. Okay? And so what happened? You have to pay this much more out of pocket. Okay, you have to pay this much more out of pocket. Okay? Is it good or bad? It is bad because suppose it is here. Okay, suppose it is the equilibrium price here. No extra cost to the society. but you have a target price or you have price support, whatever it is, you have to pay more out of it. Okay? Okay, here. This is basically the same thing. So suppose you want to support it at $3. Okay? You want to support it at $3, even though the quantity here is a little bit lower. Okay? So the demand is here. Okay, the demand is here. But because you support the price at $3 here, okay, this is how much farmers going to produce. So this yellow area, okay, this yellow area is the amount government has to pay, right? Because at $3, people only purchase this amount, okay? But at $3, okay, at a higher price, people are going to produce more. So what happened? This is the cost government have to pay. There is such questions in your midterm. Okay, there is such question in your midterm. You have to figure out what is the extra cost to the society or to the government. Okay, we have a few minutes left, so we forget about this part. So you're gonna read it on your own. Okay, organ. The market for eggs and organs. At this point in Taiwan, there's no market for organs. There's no market for eggs. Okay? So what happened? You have a lot of people, a lot of couples, they want to have kids. Okay? But how are they going to get kids? They don't have good eggs. Okay? Then you have to find some donors for it. Okay? How are you going to find it? It's very difficult, right? But suppose someone say, I pay you $10,000 or maybe $100,000. I need eggs. Okay? Ye Yifang, if I pay you $100,000, would you give me eggs? No? 1 million. You break my heart. But that is a kidney, right? If I give you $1 million, sorry, I don't need that. Okay, first, I don't need that. But suppose I give you $1 million. Anyone, any of you would like to give up one kidney? Because it's so strange. You have two, right? But you only need one to function well. So Zhang Zhewei, sounds like you want to give me one.
我一定会评。
You will get good mark in microeconomics.
我一定会。
I mean, this is a very touching issue. So for example, in the past, in 1970s, 1960s in Taiwan, there's some people sell their blood for a living. Okay? Is it good? I mean, they could oversell it, right? And they're gonna have a big impact on their health. And so for example, last week I donated blood. And because I donated my blood, so for 3 months, okay, for 3 months I cannot donate anymore because they wanna, pay attention to my health. And they don't want me to, overdonate my blood. But suppose there's a market for your organ. What happened? Some people are gonna be exploited. Okay? If there's a market for it, there could be exploitation. Okay, what is exploitation? Wang Xiuhui. Exploitation. Exploit. What is exploit? Excuse me? Louder. There's a kind of noodle you have to. Right. The second word. The first one. Right, exactly. Exploitation. 陈市长 Is that a joke?
No.
No. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
先到。
Really? Okay, let's take a break.